Let's take a look at the Week 8 AP Top 25 as we had a number of ranked teams take losses, and there's been some moving and some shaking going into this really important Week 8 as some teams became bowl eligible, remained 6-0, and some teams like Oklahoma absolutely took an L. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Did you expect Oklahoma to fall as far as it did in the AP Top 25 after a really devastating loss to Texas 23-6, where John Mateer threw 3 interceptions and Texas put him on his back 4 times, and Arch Manning waved goodbye after a big rushing game that mostly ended the game and any chances for Oklahoma coming back, who could not score a touchdown to save its life. The defense for the second half looked like it was non-existent, while the Texas defense played like the one that I thought it would be. That said, John Mateer's throwing Malik Muhammad the ball like he's one of his wide receivers, and Michael Taft's having a great day. Oregon gets beat by Indiana, which I did not expect you to really think was a big deal, but we'll talk about it. I also think that it's important to talk about the teams that are undefeated that perhaps aren't getting their due, but they got to play somebody for us to think that they're that good. And A&M's really good, and it feels like Alabama-Tennessee is going to be a play-in game for the college football playoff later this week. So let's get started with the AP Top 25, going 1 through 25. Ohio State 6-0. They beat Illinois handily 34-16. If you're Indiana, you get to say, yeah, dog, we beat that team 63-10. Maybe we're the number 1 team in the country. As it stands, Miami, who was idle last week, they are number 2 at 5-0. Indiana 6-0 with the win. Again, ranked win against Illinois and the ranked win against Oregon on the road. They're number 2 for me. That's the second best team in college football. They're number 3 there, and A&M is at number 4. Starts 6-0. They beat Florida handily last night. Looks like a really good football team Mike Elko has put together. They've allowed just 2 third-down conversions and 33 attempts in SEC play. Defense is solid, man. Ole Miss is 6-0 after needing to come back to beat Washington State. Kejuan Lacey had 142 rush yards in this, and Trinidad Chambliss threw for 253, but I docked them too for falling behind to a Washington State team that I think they should have beaten gone away. Then we got Texas Tech at we got Alabama at number 6, and we've also got Ty Simpson playing his behind off after really holding on to beat Missouri on the road. I thought that was interesting. Thought that was good. Texas Tech is also at number 7 after beating Kansas handily, even though Baron Morton went down. Looks like he will be available to play this Saturday, but Will Hammond's been pretty good. Cameron Dickey had 263 rush yards in this game. First play he took from scrimmage was basically a dive that he ran to the house. Number 8 is Oregon. They're at they've dropped 5 spots after the loss to Indiana, which I thought was okay, sure. But their ranked win against Penn State no longer looks good because Penn State fired James Franklin, and Penn State had just lost to UCLA and Northwestern, and they've lost Drew Aller. Just a bad day to be a Penn State Nittany Lion. Number 9 is Georgia, who beat Auburn in one of the weirdest games of the Deep South oldest rivalry. I think the SEC officiating crew had some explaining to do. There were some egregious calls in that game that made it easier for Georgia to win, but that game at Jordan-Hare, if you're an Auburn fan, you're pissed. LSU beats South Carolina handily 20-10. They're still at 10, up to 10, excuse me. Tennessee's at 11 and probably working at getting to Alabama. And if they can beat Alabama, you got to begin to think of them as a team that makes the college football playoff. You got to begin to think of Alabama as maybe a team that might not. 10-2 in the SEC seems like it's going to get you in, but there's a whole bunch of teams left to play for both of those. And again, I still think it's a playing game with them. So you're going to have a number 6 matchup versus number 11, which college football playoff seeding. Number 12, Georgia Tech. They beat Virginia Tech handily 35-20. Canes King was great in that game. They're 6-0. Notre Dame's at number 13, up 3 spots at 4-2 after a 36-7 win against North Carolina State. CJ Carr threw for over 300 yards in that game. Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love combined to rush for more than 150 yards in that game. Oklahoma falls to number 14. I think that's generous given what we saw from them. John Mateer didn't seem to have any ill effects of the hand cert. He just didn't play well. Played the worst game, I think, of his entire career in the most important game on the schedule for Oklahoma fans. And now Oklahoma plays South Carolina, and then it is 5 consecutive ranked matchups that they're going to see. It's not going to get any easier for the Sooners. They're going to have to earn that 14 spot. BYU at number 15, 6-0. They need it double overtime to beat Arizona, but they got it done. And Missouri at 16 falls 2 spots after losing to Alabama at home, a game that really was supposed to be very important for Missouri. It's their first time to host a top 15 matchup at Faurot Field since 1979. Couldn't quite get it done. Ahmad Hardy got stuffed, 52 rushing yards for what was the nation's leading rusher. Vanderbilt's at 17, idle. They play a really important game this week against LSU, which I think is going to be fun. Virginia at 18, up 1 spot. They were idle, but they're still at 18. South Florida put 63 on North Texas's head, move up 5 spots to number 19, 5-1. USC's at 20, standing pat after beating Michigan at home. Texas moves in to 21, 4-2 with the great win against Oklahoma. Memphis is up 1 spot off of being idle at 6-0. Utah moves into the top 25 after beating this Arizona State that had to start Jeff Sims, and Jeff Sims just ain't the quarterback that Sam Leavitt is. Cincinnati moves in at 24. They're 5-1, and Nebraska moves in at 5-1 after getting a very important win against Maryland to really put them on good footing to finish the rest of the way here. Illinois is out at 113 votes. Michigan's out at 73 votes. Washington's out at 36 votes. UNLV got 30. Navy got 11. Mississippi State got 8. Tulane got 2. San Diego State got 2. My overarching takeaway from this one is that there's going to be even more moving and shaking because a lot of these teams have to play each other, particularly in the Big Ten and the SEC. Keep your eye on Washington, who I rank based on what Damon Williams has been able to do. And the only team that's been able to stop them scoring more than 24 points is Ohio State. And Damon Williams had 536 yards of offense against Rutgers by himself. Kyler Murray-esque over there. I think they're good. The one loss to Ohio State is going to look really good if they are 10-2 going the rest of the way. I also think that you got to keep a really good eye on just what you can expect from Nebraska, who doesn't really play a team of any merit until they get to Penn State. And that's Penn State is no longer the Penn State that we thought it would be. There's every opportunity for Nebraska to finish 11-1 here, start talking about them again. Colorado picked up its first win against a Big 12 opponent this year, knocking off what was a ranked Iowa State, who didn't even get votes this week, which I found curious. I get that they lost to Iowa State or Colorado on the road, but not receiving a single vote is a little much for me. Outside of that, we're good.